At 121 years old, the Indonesian embassy in Washington, D.C. is older than Indonesia itself. The building is an architectural gem that attracts local and tourists alike. As Indonesia marks 75 years of diplomacy with the U.S., TVRI World's Azalea Johannes got an exclusive look inside the remarkable building and take us through its legendary past.
Here in Washington, D.C., it's hard to pass by 2020 Massachusetts Avenue without looking up.
It's really beautiful, it's really grand.
And it's just beautiful.
It's kind of unique.
With its soaring marble columns and ornate windows, the Indonesian embassy is a spectacular sight to behold. And today, we're getting a glimpse inside. Immediately as you walk in, you're greeted by this amazing central staircase. Kind of reminds you of those staircases on luxury ocean liners of the past. And check out what's illuminating this entire hall, a magnificent skylight like no other. With vast ballrooms, painted ceilings, and even a pipe organ, no expense was spared when building millionaire Thomas Walsh's new home in 1903. The Irish immigrant who had struck gold out west wanted an opulent residence to entertain Washington's elite, and this sumptuous 4-story, 60-room home did just that, hosting lavish soirees for guests ranging from presidents to royalty. Local realtor and content creator Joe Himmeley researches D.C. history and architecture.
He entertained Teddy Roosevelt here. He entertained many other very important people throughout the years in this house. And the stories of the amount of alcohol and food that were given to their guests is legendary.
The person behind many of those parties, Thomas's daughter, Evelyn Walsh McLean, socialite and former owner of the infamous Hope Diamond. Believed to have been struck by the diamond's alleged curse, McLean suffered tragedies both personal and financial. Still, she managed to hang on to the house, even loaning it to the Red Cross during World War II.
They actually made hundreds of thousands of surgical kits in this building to be distributed around the world for the soldiers.
In 1951, following Mrs. McLean's death, the Indonesian government purchased the house for the bargain price of $300,000. Quickly working to restore the building and adding Indonesian touches along the way. Ida Bagus Made Sade Bimantara is currently interim head of mission here at the embassy. This building has a reputation of being a little haunted. I must ask you, have you yourself been spooked?
Ooh, yes. It's a matter of whether you believe it or not, but people have experienced it.
Throughout the year, the public gets opportunities to take in the embassy's beauty from the inside. Dance practice and gamelan lessons are held here, and once a year, the embassy opens its doors to thousands of visitors as part of the city's Around the World Embassy Tour.
We introduce our culture, our food, our products, services, the best that Indonesia has to offer.
But soon, the embassy will be closing its doors, not permanently, just for renovations. A restoration project much needed and long overdue.
It's been more than 6 decades that this building has not been renovated, restored. So as any buildings, of course, it will need some TLC.
What I would expect to see is a large amount of money spent to basically make sure the outside is secure. The roofing shingles are correct, the plaster is right, the bricks are in good shape, all of that sort of work. But the other aspect of it is to make sure it's more eco-friendly, that it has insulation installed, that they have the electrical and the other systems inside of it brought up to 21st century standards. Because as I'm sure you can imagine, they did not make sure